We're at our West Side warehouse. Let's roll out the vehicle we're driving this week. Well, a couple of weeks ago we had a Toyota Highlander. It looks like this week we get another Toyota Highlander. Except the other one was a V6 and this one is a hybrid. Shipped it all the way from Texas just for you and me. If you're interested in more heavy-duty Toyotas, we tested the 2020 Toyota Land Cruiser a couple of weeks ago. And the Toyota TRD RAV, 43 grand. We'll have a link for both of those videos at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click and watch. Okay, the first thing we want to do when we get a hybrid is check and make sure it has a spare tire. Most of them do not. And yes, there's one under there. Good to go. And the 2021 model is supposed to come with high output LED headlights that are fantastic, so I'm told. So let's take these out in the dark and see if that's true. Okay, it's dark. Let's take these headlights out and see what they do. Here we have the low beams on the wall 100 feet away, very bright. Go to high beam, also bright, very impressive. Here we have the brights on the building 300 feet away. Good illumination. Obviously upsetting the security guard. Go to low beam. Reaches out pretty good. And here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. The standard V6 version of the Highlander puts out a 295 horsepower engine. By comparison, this hybrid's a bit smaller, 2.5 liter, 4-cylinder with 2 electric motors. Total output 240 horsepower, torque rating of 175 pounds-feet at 4,400 RPM. The fuel economy rating for this hybrid is 35 in the city, 34 on the highway, with 35 overall. Compared to the gasoline V6, which is 20 to 27 in all-wheel drive, or 21 to 29 in two-wheel drive. The one I drove a couple of weeks ago was the all-wheel drive. We got 18 to 26 MPG with an average around 23 to 24. We'll be taking this out in the real world to get the true fuel economy, so stick around. And by the way, if you're ever under the hood, don't ever touch anything that's orange. There's like a jillion volts running through there. We'll give you an interesting hairdo if you get zapped. The base price of a hybrid Highlander is 38 grand. But as you can see, this one's loaded up with everything, just a bit over 50 grand. Wow. With the third row seats up, you get 14 cubic feet of space. If they're folded like they are now, you get 48 cubic feet. The base info screen's around 8 inches. This is the deluxe 12.3 incher. Big enough, but has a lot of glare that reflects, as you can see. Just typical of these designs, not much you can do about it. The radio controls are pretty simple, but I do have one complaint, which is little to do with Toyota, just overall radio designs we get after 40 or 50 years. That is, the volume control is easy to reach. For some reason, they keep putting the tuning knob way over here where you can't reach it. And why do they do that? Why can't we have the volume and the tuning right here? Because that's just the way it's done, right? And by the way, we get drive mode, normal, sport, or eco. All of our driving will be done in normal, unless I tell you otherwise. And on the deluxe Highlanders, we do get a phone charger in the console. I'm told it does not fit all phones. And I also find it very annoying when I'm trying to reach down and get stuff. Some people will like this, some people will not. I don't use smartphones, so it doesn't really bother me. Until I'm reaching in to get something, of course. It's yours if you want it. The gauge cluster looks nice. Lots of useful information. A lot of these safety nannies can be disconnected. The problem, though, when you disconnect the safety nannies, you get all these orange warning lights on your instrument cluster. I have 5 at the moment. That's the same color as the check engine light, so you see the problems you're going to have there. Plus, they're scattered all over the place. Why can't they just have them in one area with a different color than orange? this is the way it is. There's a way to fix this. I'll show you later on in the video. An official 0 to 60 time of 6.6 seconds is what I've been seeing on YouTube, which I find hard to believe, but let's find out. I did 3 runs, and the best time I've got is 7.8 seconds. Take it for what it's worth. This vehicle is not a lightweight. With the driver and a full tank of gas, we're looking pretty much near 2.5 tons. 240 horsepower is not going to pull 2.5 tons at 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds. Not in the real world that I live in. On the positive side, the batteries in this hybrid system provide excellent low-end torque and throttle response. Just push down and you're on your way. So daily driving never feels underpowered, and that's what really counts more than a 0 to 60 time. Besides, most people are buying this for fuel economy more than racing it on the street in 0 to 60, so we're doing the fuel economy test in just a couple of minutes, but we have to make one stop. Come on, dude, get a room. We're going to take some mild speed bumps, see how the suspension performs on impact. Here comes bump number 1. Pretty smooth. Let's take it to 25 miles per hour. Pretty smooth again. And the ride quality is very smooth on the street as well. We're going to take a highway trip, set the mileage computer to 0, assuming I know how to work this thing, see what type of fuel economy we get. This Toyota is a very smooth highway cruiser. The wind noise is low, although it might not sound that way on your end because I'm using a cheap camera, but trust me, it's low enough. The ride is smooth, the driving position is excellent. Just waiting to see what the fuel economy is going to be. We'll find out soon enough in another 80 miles. We passed the 100-mile mark, and we're going to wrap up this trip, see what the fuel economy is. And keep in mind, we're going slightly uphill, around 1,300 feet to around 2,500 feet. So the MPG will not be at its maximum best. 113 miles, 30.6 MPG. That's our official number. I set the computer back to 0 for the fuel economy. I've been driving around town all night here. I'm going to pull over and see what the fuel economy says. Should be higher. We'll know in just a minute. Well, in heavy city driving, that's what we've been getting. It's kind of cool outside though, around 65 degrees. That might help. Okay, our third and last fuel economy test. We're going to make a return trip on the freeway, going slightly downhill. And here we go. Alright, fuel test number 3, another 110 miles or so. You should appreciate the fact I'm paying for this fuel out of my pocket, not yours. Another good reason to watch my videos. We're coming to an end. We passed the 100-mile mark. 114 miles, 31.8 MPG, compared to 30.6 going up, 31.8 coming down. Those are official numbers for interstate driving. It's a 30 to 32. So what's my take on the Toyota Highlander Hybrid after a week of driving? It's a fantastic vehicle, very few complaints, highly recommended. But the real issue is, should you get the Highlander Hybrid or the Highlander non-hybrid with the V6 engine? It all comes down to the economics of fuel savings. In the non-hybrid V6, I got 18 miles to the gallon in the city and 26 on the highway. On this hybrid, it averaged between 29 and 33 miles to the gallon. That means if you do a lot of freeway driving, your fuel savings will be about 5 to 6 miles to the gallon. Not that great. In mixed commuting, you'll save around 8 to 9 miles to the gallon, a bit better. If you do a lot of city driving, that's where you really cash in, 13 to 15 miles to the gallon, better than the V6. So obviously, the more city commuting you do, the more money you're going to save in fuel costs. So if you're putting in 50,000 miles on this vehicle in the city, you'll save around $2,000 in gas. That should just about pay for the hybrid system. And if you're doing on the highway, it's going to take 100,000 miles to pay for it, and if you do mixed commuting, around 75,000 miles. Now, this is based on the fuel cost of $2.10 a gallon where I live, but if you live in a communist state like California, where it's like $4 to $5 a gallon, you'll save a lot more money, but you'll pay a lot more for gas too, so it's a mixed bag. In the end, though, this is a very impressive vehicle, excellent quality, comfortable to drive every day. If you can afford the price tag, go for it. You won't be disappointed. Here are 2 links to other vehicles we tested and did videos on. Just click and watch.